How are we doing social media? So I'm going to give it my best attempt in trying to explain to you the way that I see the world work. I know I put a lot of content out, and some people probably think to themselves, how does he come to these conclusions? So I'm going to try and explain it as best I can in layman terms, from the top right down to the bottom, and how I see things working, how I see how everything links. I'm going to start with what I call the kind of treasury or the landlords, and I'm going to try and kind of say, like, after this layer, there's layers beyond this, but when you go there, you lose people because there's a lot of stuff, and there really is people just taking educated guesses at that point. Like, you can cite family names like the Rothschilds and Rockefellers and listen, sure, they're there. So I'm going to start at a layer where people can kind of look and fact check what I'm saying. So I call these the big three, and the big three are BlackRock, Vanguard and State Street. They are the digital ledgers and the kind of institutional asset managers, and they're worth over like $40 trillion, which is basically infinite amount of money. Basically, they're involved in every big company that they're usually the majority shareholders in any big company that you know. We'll look at it as a perspective of you walking into a supermarket and trying to see that you've got different choices of drinks, different choices of food, different choices of washing up powder, different choices of technology, PlayStations, Xboxes, phones, iPhones, Samsungs, whatever it may be. However, when you realise that it doesn't matter what your choice is because they own everything, once you go above that, you think you have a choice, you think you have choice in that, but they don't. They actually own everything. So the operational mechanism of this layer, it acts as the kind of economic engine by holding the kind of dominant voting shares across competing corporate monopolies, technology, food, media, energy, defence. And the capital layer removes genuine market competition and replaces it with a unified kind of corporate direction. So the steering of that vector is a non-negotiable compliance to gatekeep access to global capital. And corporations that don't comply with this don't become the next layer, the next tier 2 policy directors. So you need to understand the power that these three hold. So if you can imagine the world like a big casino, and don't think of the world as like a bunch of countries that have democracy, think of it as one massive high technology casino. And the average person that walks into that casino looks at the flashing lights, and the whole point of the game is to beat the casino and beat the dealer at the blackjack table, or argue with the bouncer at the door about the rules to get in. But you don't realise that the entire building is the rules of the game, and the cameras in the ceiling, the price of drinks, even the air that's pumped in to the casino is rigged for the top down. And as we spoke about, the landlords, the best way to try and put it in layman terms is just imagining one single company that owned the majority stakes in like both Celtic and Rangers, both Coke and Pepsi, both Apple and Samsung, both BP and Shell, both Pfizer and Moderna. And if you own both sides of the rivalry, you don't actually care who wins. You own the stadium, you own the sale of tickets, you own the profit regardless of the outcome. So if you go into a supermarket and you see 50 different brands of cereal, washing up powder, beer, and you think you've got choice, but you don't. If you trace the money back, the trail goes to the same top three. They have the funds in corporate shares in every single one of the companies that we speak about. So that's the best way that you can explain BlackRock, Vanguard and State Street. So I'm going to move on to the next layer, which is the architects and the planners. So the architects, or the blueprint, whatever you want to call it, is these are visible when you look at the World Economic Forum, the World Health Organization, Chatham House, Atlantic Council, Trilateral Commission, the Open Society Foundation, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Bilderberg. All these things are the kind of supranational, unelected frequency that goes across the unelected global civil service. They create the roadmap process. And when I say the roadmap process, what I mean are think tanks who write exhaustive policy, white papers on economics, biosecurity, resource management, which goes into this kind of socialisation and the creation of society, which gives you global summits like Davos, and you've heard me talking about Davos a lot, which bring together the heads of the tier one, which is obviously like BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, and they align them into kind of timelines, and they fund these through kind of capitalist foundations that fund academic chairs and scientific kind of capture and target NGOs to establish a scientific consensus that goes on to render the policy that beyond public debate. If we go back to the casino and you look at these guys, these are the guys who design the rules of the casino. They aren't elected, don't get voted out, there's no accountability. Think of them like a permanent kind of committee of elitists who build the towns, build cities, and what kind of cars are allowed to drive, and what food you should eat, the pandemics, and what medicine goes out, what technology will be used in each place, each country. So the best way that I can give you an example of that is if you look at which you've heard people talking about 15-minute cities or low emission zones, whatever way you want to look at it. We had Matt Houston on the podcast who was explaining the ULEZ stuff, and these popped up in every city across the world at the same time, exact same time. So that doesn't happen because local councils suddenly have some great idea that we need to sort out like low emission or whatever. It happens because groups like the World Economic Forum, who have wrote the blueprint years ago, hand it down and make sure that the funding goes into the right places so that it gets done. So that's the best way that I can kind of explain that layer 2. So we're going to go into layer 3 next, which is the middle management and the enforcers. So we'll have a look at them in a minute. So this layer is essentially the operational layer. So it's the intelligence agencies like CIA, MI5, Mossad, the big tech companies, the big pharma companies, the military industrial complex. And the operational mechanism of these are information asymmetry and a systemic enforcement of the tier 2 blueprints from the World Economic Forum, etc., and trying to turn the physical blueprints, trying to turn the blueprints into physical and digital reality. So these are the handlers. So the intelligence agencies operate in the blind spots of domestic law. They monitor the structural threats, they manage geopolitical leverage points and act as invisible vectors, ensuring that the kind of tier 4, which we'll go into next, which is the political actors, don't deviate from the roadmap. So they're essentially the engine, the big tech that build the tracking data nets, and the big pharma that manage biochemical baselines and for the population, the physical resources and border stability and stuff like that are enforced. So the best way, if we go back to the casino, we look at these guys as the enforcers, or whatever you want to call it, the bouncers or the muscle. So again, who they are, they're the big tech, big pharma, the intelligence agencies, and this is the casino security team. So the IT department and the guys in the back room that are looking at the CCTV cameras, they don't make the rules, but they build the technology that enforces from Tier 2, World Economic Forum, Trilateral Commission, the Bilderberg. Their blueprints get enforced by building the technology or whatever needs to be to allow the blueprint from up above to be enforced. So a real world example is, think about how during the COVID pandemic, big tech companies, pharmaceutical giants and the governments all acted like one single kind of entity. And if you questioned a medicine on social media, you were banned instantly. This was because the tech companies built the technology to watch, as if like if you're in the casinos, the cameras, and the farmers, the big pharma companies are the product. So we're working off the exact same script handed down by the planners. So these guys really enforce, they'll compromise the next people who are the actors, they'll compromise the actors, they'll make us think that they're invisible, they let us know they're there, they scare you, they'll take care of business if somebody's stepping out of line, if somebody deviates for the script. These are the guys who enforce the law or enforce whatever needs to be done to make sure that the Tier 2, again, the World Economic Forum and the Trilateral Commission, the Bilderberg, to ensure that their blueprint is enforced. So you can look at these and I could go into so much detail, but I'm trying to keep it as plain and kind of as simple as I can. So the next thing we're going to go into is the pantomime and the political theatre, and I call these guys the actors. So let's have a look at these guys. So the theatrical layer, again, presidents, prime ministers, parliaments, governments, opposing political factions, visible religious leaders. So what's the operational mechanism of these guys? So this layer is designed as a kind of psychological barrier. This is where the population's trained to halt their analysis. This is where you're supposed to stop looking at, you're not supposed to look past these guys. These guys create the illusion of choice, they create the illusion of population and how to divide it into a kind of binary political factions, and left versus right, like Republicans versus Democrats, all that kind of stuff. You know the different things, and that's the illusion that gives you choice. These guys are nothing but puppets, and it doesn't matter if it's Donald Trump, Keir Starmer, doesn't matter if it's like the Bushies. Sometimes you will get guys who maybe tread in through the layer above the enforcer role, because like you would get like maybe like George Bush Senior, people like that who are a wee bit more involved in the enforcer role, and sometimes these guys come in when they really need somebody good and somebody who's very well equipped to deal with people, because what you've got to remember is a lot of the people that are acting here don't even know they're acting. They believe in the system. We're taught that these politicians are just taught that this is the layer as well. They're taught just the exact same as us, that this is how far it goes. You have choice, you have democracy, but again, it doesn't matter who wins, it doesn't matter who governs, because it's owned by the above layer, and then the above layer above them, and then the above layer above them. And it's some of these guys that are acting, politicians, and like I'm talking about like parties and stuff like that. There's so many of these people that are good people who I believe don't know that they're in this big game. So again, let's go back and look at the roadmap for these guys. So these guys divide the population. They're supposed to create culture wars, intentional strokes of genius from the people above, never really from these guys. These guys can be good actors, they can be good talkers, they've usually got charisma, character. If they don't have charisma and character, they're in it for a different reason. They'll be there maybe just to get pushed over and looked into. So that people like JFK, Charlie Kirk, these are people who deviate from the role and probably start looking too much into the stuff above, and that usually ends no great for that person, as we've seen so many times. So if we go back to the casino, then we can look at these guys as the kind of pantomime that would be in the casino. So you have, like, again, prime ministers, presidents, left versus right politics. That left versus right spectrum is big. You've got the far right, you've got far left. Plenty of stuff in there to keep us all arguing and debating each other. Because it's sad, the real sad thing here is that we have the power. It's us, we are the 99%. We've got so much power. If we stop playing the game, if we stop engaging in what they want us to do, then they lose. They don't have the power. But it's very hard because so many people have created identities around about this. So this is probably the most important layer, right, for you guys to understand, because politics is like professional wrestling. It really is. It looks brutal. It's like there's bloody grudge matches there. There's the guys in the red trunks that hate the guys in the blue trunks, like Hulk Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior, or Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. And then sometimes you'll get the little guy who beats the big guy. So they scream at each other, the crowd cheers and boos, and everybody gets emotionally invested in one of these things. And some people really get angry about it, and you get protests, and you get all the different stuff. And again, it's just going back, it's divide and conquer. If you read any kind of Machiavelli stuff, or you read any of the kind of best way to divide society is keep everybody arguing with each other, do you know what I mean? Because we hold the power. But again, sometimes it's not as easy as that. I understand that loads of people. So these guys go to the back door, collect their paychecks for the same promoter, and laugh all the way to the bank. These guys are genuinely, they're no anything bar golfers. They're in it for the money. Some of them may look good, and some of them may think that they've got power. It depends on the person. It depends on the awareness of that person. It depends on the awareness of the actor, like how they'll get handled. Do you know what I mean? Because some guys will get handled if they don't understand the top layer. They'll come in and think that they're doing a good job, and as long as they're doing what the script says, then they'll be kept in there, and they can sometimes. But you do get people like Donald Trump, who I feel who's very much compromised at this moment in time. Keir Starmer looks compromised. And then if you look at the Epstein files, I'm not going to go into all that kind of stuff, but what you see is, you see the enforcers really enforcing that compromisation technique, where everybody's compromised at this moment in time. A lot of kind of psyops, a lot of dark psychology going on by the enforcers at this moment in time. So a real world example that we can look at is looking at what happens when a government gets voted out. So if a government gets voted out, the public is furious at party, that party, so they vote in the next party to change things. But genuinely, in my 40 years of life, does things actually change? Does poverty end? Does addiction end? Does working class problems end? No, they don't. So do taxes go down? No. Does the cost of living go down? No. Does corporate power decrease? No. So the faces change, but the script stays the same, and the politicians are really just a lightning rod designed to take the public's anger so they don't look at the landlords up the stairs, so they don't go beyond this stage. It's very, very clever. It's an ingenious system, and I understand a lot of people can't look above that, but you really need to look at these people above, because again, I can't stress enough how much these guys, it's just pantomime with these guys. They don't mean anything. They're just literally there to enforce what the World Economic Forum and the Bilderberg. So what goes after that, right, is the hype men. So I'm going to speak about how much a weapon, because it used to be television was the biggest way to influence people, but now social media, phones, you're constantly getting like the algorithm, what you want it to tell you, that'll tell you. It's an ingenious system. So let's have a look at that. So this is the narrative layer, I always call it. You'll maybe see this if you do follow me, you'll see my posts, I talk about narrative a lot, and this is the cognitive weapon. And with social media, man, it's like took it to a whole new level. But they know that, they understand the power of it, they know how to weaponize it, and they tell you that. Like you'll get like Netanyahu telling you, and they're going to invest money into TikTok, they're going to invest money into X, and again you'll have people like Elon Musk and stuff like that, who probably falls into the category of in between, like stage 2 and 3. People like Elon Musk and Sam Altman, and especially with the AI, because of the power of AI. So the operation, so these guys are like social media algorithms. So they come under like YouTube, they come under Facebook, they come under Instagram, they come under TikTok, but these are the kind of algorithms. And then you have got like their legacy media, which is like BBC, ITV, stuff like that. But the big one, the new, is paid commentators, and you'll hear me obviously quite a lot talking about paid commentators and digital influencers. So this is like, so the operational mechanism of these guys are, so it's like algorithmic behavioural modification to govern a whole species possessing free will. Physical force is inefficient, perception management is optimal. And the roadmap process to this, right? So the roadmap process is dopamine and outrage loops. That's what I kind of see, like in the social media especially. You've got algorithms that prioritise content that triggers emotional instability and fear and division in us. And we all do it. We've all got like who we believe, and we've got the influencers that we like, or the people that we get our information from. And this keeps the collective human mind in a state of chronic low survival mode. And see, to be honest, over the last year or so, I've been researching this so much that I believe that I've kind of paralysed myself a wee bit. It's like systemic critical thinking, but it's no, it doesn't serve you well mentally. Do you know what I mean? It's like it really does drive you into a low frequency, and it's like sheep. It's like herding sheep. So these paid commentators and influencers act as like perimeter guards, if you like, and it's like if an organic systemic truth begins to spread among the public, these assets are deployed to like ridicule the truth, dilute it with absurd variants, and discredit it, and kind of redirect the public's energy back into like an approved narrative or an approved political box. So like you might ask yourself, why would they release all the Epstein files? It's to confuse you, it's to put you into a state of fear, it's paralysis, it's like looking at stuff that's like vile, repulsive, that you can't get your head, you're not supposed to get your head round it. It's supposed to cripple you, and it's supposed to give you anxiety, it's supposed to push you into, like, so that your health, your mental health suffers. That it really is it's to keep you at a low vibration. And I know that sounds mad, but it's really to trigger emotions and instability within you and keep us all divided. And it works. It's very, very, very effective. And we'll go in and look at some of the people. So again, if we go back and we start looking at the casino, we can look at these guys as the hype men, right? So who are they? Like, you'll find them on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. They're the kind of talking head influencers. So you've got, at the moment, Candace Owens, Piers Morgan, you've got Joe Rogan, you've got Theo Vaughn, you've got different people, like, so that's your kind of podcasters. Then you'll have guys like, even like Liam Tuff over here. You'll have people on like George Galloway, Russell Brand, and what they're all doing is they're all exploring different aspects of from a different view, and how much these guys know. Listen, that's up for debate, because obviously they guys might just be stopped at the same bit as we were talking about, that line that you're not supposed to go by. So these guys might genuinely believe in what they're doing. Some of them are very much know what they're doing, and know that what they're supposed to be doing. So if we look at this again in the casino, this is like the speaker system. So if the people inside the casino start realising that the games are rigged and start beginning to talk about each other and say, look, we're not winning here, and like it's only one person that wins out of 100, and the house starts pumping in loud music, flashing more lights to distract you. Social media is designed to keep you angry. It's designed to keep you addicted and fighting with your neighbour over trivial nonsense that it's never going to give you the peace of mind that you want. And what a lot of these guys will do, so we'll take like Andrew Tate, who's like, obviously you look at him and the kind of toxic masculinity that he spreads, misogyny. Whether you like him, he can be very articulate, he can be charismatic. You watch him and he's got like all the nice looking girls around about him. He's got the nice cars, he's got everything. He'll tell you sometimes, he even outs this system at times. But listen, he knows, and he'll push it to the extremes and kind of say, look, I can't tell you anything more than what I will tell you, because I can't even, he's too big an influencer that he just can't go any further than that. And then you have guys like Tommy Robinson, who's clearly paid by a foreign entity to create division in the country. Whether he believes he's hype and whether he believes what he's talking about, again, is up for debate. But these are the people that are very low on the system. They're there to keep you. They'll talk about the issues that the enforcers, or like maybe even go to the World Economic Forum level and talk about these things. But mainly what they'll do is they'll keep you in that, where the pantomime is, and they'll talk about people like Donald Trump having a debate with Keir Starmer, and you'll get outraged, and you'll sometimes your patriotism will kick in, and you'll be like anti whatever, like anti that religion, anti this religion, and it's all designed. Like, even take the migrant crisis at the moment. I strongly believe that we need stronger mechanisms in play for people coming into the country, just because of the way the society is set up. You can't just let everybody in at the same time, because what it does is it causes carnage, and that's what they want. So it's by design. These things are always by design, and it will keep, because some people, like, I certainly have it. I've got like a lot of empathy, and it's like these guys in a real world utopia, help as many of these people as you could, but the reality is they're coming from their rigged system with their rigged beliefs into another culture and it's polarising and it's dividing because people don't get each other and the cultures clash, and effectively what happens is you get a social media war on their hands that hypes everybody up and keeps you from like looking into any deeper, and while they keep on turning the screws, cranking the screws up and making it tighter, and you don't even see it. This is the thing, we don't even see it. We don't see how much they've moved on because we're so busy stuck in arguing between ourselves. So a real world example of this is, so if you think about the massive issue of the cost of living crisis at the moment, it's absolutely, well, it'll get you enraged, but the entire internet will spend 3 days screaming at each other over a celebrity who put a viral video of someone arguing on a bus, or like the guy with Tourette's speaking at the award ceremony, again brings in racism and stuff like that. Another big trigger for a lot of people. So again, these paid influencers, like there's not many of the big followings or the people who talk about politics or the political influencers are actually real people who are trying to help. They're just people who are getting a very good wage to put out a script to distract you and to keep you from looking at the real people with the real power players. So, what's the end goal? I believe the end goal is a digital cage with a digital ID and CBDCs, which are digital currencies. So, how do I explain that? How do you explain a digitalised dystopia, and why do they want it? So, imagine your house is like entirely automated. Your keys, your electricity, your fridge, your bank account are all hooked up to one smart device, a smart app on your phone, which is very convenient. But now imagine that the landlord of your house turns out to be a real bad control freak. So if you put a bin out on the wrong day, or you say something that he doesn't like, even on Facebook, something that he takes offence to, he doesn't send that brick through your window. He presses a button and suddenly your digital car stops, it won't lock, your bank card doesn't open, you can't buy a pint at the pub, your smart fridge unlocks itself. And even in China, if you break the law, if you jaywalk, they'll put your photos up in big huge screens and shame you into thinking like these people are bad or whatever. That's where we're going. See, if you want to look at where we're heading, you just look at China. China is like 20 years ahead of what we are. I'm not going to go into the big China had a very similar culture war within themselves to do with people, like different kind of rural people in China and people in the city, and how it was very similar what they done, all the different players and different levels. And if you look at the system they've got to do, that is where we're heading. Like, there's no other way you can put it. Everybody's like, there's nobody coming to save us here. There's no politicians, there's no big tech guys, Elon Musk's. These people are not anywhere near the power. They're playing off a script. They really are. They're playing us into a script, and none of them are going to help us. The only way we can help is by coming together and uniting. I believe that the only way that we can do that is taking it back very, very basic and saying, do you believe that you're of a smaller class, you're not an elite person? And if your answer is yes, then that's the next, you can go to the next question, and the next question after that is, are we getting shafted? are we getting a hard time at the moment? Is cost of living through the roof? Is it starting to become unmanageable for a lot of people? And the answer's probably yes. Don't go any further than that, because when you start going any further than that, you'll start arguing about something. There'll be something you don't agree with, some influencer that you like that he doesn't like, some country that you like that he doesn't like, some politician that he likes that he doesn't like. Don't go any further, stay there, and that's how you come together. That's the only way that you can unite. And listen, like, see, just for talking's sake, if the whole country all of a sudden didn't go to work for 1 week, their system breaks. The system isn't, it's no a bulletproof system. Their system relies on us. It relies on us taking part. It relies on us engaging. It relies on us believing the lie. So looking at an example that I can kind of try and show, right, is like, look at cash disappearing, right? Once cash is completely gone and all the money's digital, it's then digital total. It's just numbers in a machine, and it's like central banks. You've got the IMF, and you've got the central bank, and you've got these big massive banks who, again, if you look, BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, they're the primary owners of these things. They're the people that loan you money. They've got everybody in debt. Debt is what they need. They need everybody in debt, and we're all in debt, because even when you get your wages, you owe it all out to these different places. So to live in this society, you need to take part in it, that's the whole ingenious way this works. So they don't need to put tanks on our streets anymore. They don't need to lock us in cells. If you control a man's phone, his bank app, his grocery bill, control the man. So very soon, like, they've got companies like Palantir, that's owned by Peter Thiel, who have just got massive contracts in nearly every country in the world. You've got Starlink, which is making massive leaps, and you'll start to see all the paid influencers starting to tag Starlink very soon, because Starlink's got a massive part to play in this. These are the digital systems. You've got the Tony Blair Institute, which is going to be implementing facial recognition and all this kind of stuff. This is where we're going. Like King Charles said it the other week, who he is just a figurehead, he's a nobody, but he is from a very privileged family. He's from an elite family, but he obviously said no long ago, you'll have heard him saying, like, he wants his government to enforce a digital ID. So when we're finishing up here, what would I say to you? I would say, watch who you listen to. Most people are running off a script. If they're not, and they're like taking you into territory and they're explaining stuff to you in a good way, again, it's don't stop at the political thing. You need to go beyond that. Again, the whole thing's rigged. It's very hard to believe, but there's no democratic process here. They own both sides. They don't own both sides, they own all the sides. And once you recognise that, that's when you can maybe start learning and making moves to say, like, how do we come together to kind of gridlock this? That's the only way. But listen, I hope that's explained some stuff. I'm trying to do a wee documentary that's going to try and put things in and bring videos and stuff from all the different people that we spoke about, try and bring it together, but it's obviously time consuming. I don't have a lot of time. I don't make money off social media. It costs me money to do social media. I get I got a lot of restrictions on my Facebook. I got a lot of restrictions on TikTok. I don't get anything on X. I mean, you can go and look at my X posts, they get like 5 views sometimes. So I'm not in this to make money. I never was in it to make money. I was always in this to try and just have opinions matter and show people that there's different views. And on my podcast, always enforce my views on people. Like, I'll speak to people at their level. But again, I don't make money off this. I don't make money off of social media. I don't go to influencer events that I get invited to. I don't do all that kind of stuff. I don't have my family on it. I don't use my family to try and get views and stuff like that. I very much go against the algorithms and go against what the system wants you to do. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to. I would love my podcast to be the best podcast in the world. That would be great. I'd be a liar if I says I wouldn't. But my primary function was always to try and get my views across, and that may well be driven by what happened to me. I understand that. I mean, my biases towards things because of what happened to me in the judicial system. And that judicial system, again, like, that's just an enforcer at a smaller level, like at a national level. That's just an enforcer. It works the exact same ways in a country. You've got like your local councils, in the top tier you have your politicians, and then you've got your enforcer. They actually call it the three pillars of a society. So you've got your judicial system, you've got your legislator, and you've got your executive branch, your government. But anyway, listen, I hope that's explained some stuff for you, and I'll try and put this together and get it out as quick as possible. And always remember, your focus goes, your energy flows, and question everything. Question all the influencers, start looking at them, look at who funds them, look at who they're paid off, and ask the questions. Like, ask why are they calling out elites and the Epstein thing, why they're calling out certain things, why they only choose to call out that. Question everything, man, right? And always remember, your focus goes, your energy flows.